Coaching any sport for almost 30 years is a feat unto itself. Lasting that long in the profession with the same program is evidence that one must be doing something right. Amy Deem has been a fixture at Miami since the West Virginia native was named the women's head track and field coach in 1990. When Deem was named the director of track and field and cross country in 2008, she became just the sixth woman in NCAA Division I history to oversee all aspects of both the men's and women's programs. And Deem turned the Hurricanes into a national powerhouse. Her appointment as head coach in 1990, no athlete from the U had ever recorded an NCAA qualifying mark. However, since Deem arrived, the Hurricanes have become a fixture at the NCAA Indoor and Outdoor Championships, while her athletes have won 14 individual national titles and nearly 200 first-team All-American honors. Miami's hurdlers have dominated the national scene under Deem's watch. 7 of those 14 national titles have come over the barriers, including an astounding 5 from Jillian Russell. As a team, the Hurricanes have finished as high as 3rd during the indoor season and 7th on the outdoor circuit. Miami also ruled the Big East during the early portion of Deem's career and has continued that success in the ACC. As a member of the Big East, the Hurricane women won indoor conference championships in 2003 and 2004, while nabbing a staggering 6 outdoor crowns, including 4 straight from 2001 to 2004. And despite leaving the conference after the 2004 title, Miami still owns a pair of conference championship records. Since joining the ACC, Deem's won 4 women's indoor team titles, including the most recent in 2017. To date, that is a total of 14 conference team titles. Deem has also left her mark on the sport outside of her work as coach for the Hurricanes. She served as president of USTCCA from 2003 through 2005 and has served as a head coach on 3 national teams, including the USA women's team at the 2012 London Olympics. And in those games, Americans posted one of the most remarkable Olympic performances in our country's track and field history, winning 14 medals. That included 6 golds, 4 silvers, and 4 bronze. Perhaps best of all, Deem had the privilege of coaching 3 of her former athletes in those games: Muriel Ahure, Tiara Brown, and Lauren Williams. Great moments for a great coach in a now Hall of Fame career. She is Amy Deem.
Good evening. Being here tonight is truly an honor, and it's a very humbling experience. First, I'd like to thank all of our inductees, my fellow inductees. It's a great honor to be up here with you, and also all the people that are already in the Hall of Fame. I look out, and the previous people in the Hall of Fame are my mentors and friends, and so when I received the news, it was extremely humbling. And didn't think I actually deserved it, so I was like, wait a minute, they must have made a mistake. But again, I'm very honored to be here and very honored to be in this class. I think the hardest part about giving a speech like this, besides standing up in front of all of you, is the fact that you don't want to forget anybody, and there's so many people that have contributed to me being up here tonight. I have a blessed life. I get up every morning and go to work and do something that I'm truly passionate and truly love to do. Trying to help student athletes to achieve their goals and to make a difference in their lives. This week I was actually waiting for an athlete to come to practice, and I was going through, like all of us anymore, kind of scrolling through social media to see if I was missing anything. And I found somebody had posted a speech from Denzel Washington. He's doing a graduation speech. And at the end, he said something that truly spoke to me and spoke to how I feel about my profession and how I feel about coaching. Don't just aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. And that's what I've tried to do my whole coaching career. Way back when, one of my favorite ADs, who I spent most of my career at Miami working for, always used to tell people, yeah, we hired her at 15, so 25 years later, you guys do the math. But anyway, but I knew early on, some people, we have our athletes that forget, they changed their major 2 or 3 times. But I truly knew what I wanted to do at a very young age. When I was in first or second grade, I asked my parents, my mom and dad, I asked them for a chalkboard. And I was an only child, my dad was an only child. So, we didn't have a tremendously big family. And when you're an only child in the 60s and 70s, you kind of had to entertain yourself. So I lived in the country. And anyway, so I wanted a chalkboard. So when I got my chalkboard for Christmas or my birthday, my mom helped me set up. I had a rug, I had seats, and like every kid, or at least I thought so, I had a bed full of stuffed animals. So my stuffed animals, my little rug, and my little chairs downstairs was my classroom. And in first grade, I began teaching. So that's sort of my story, and it just never changed. As I got older, I wanted to teach elementary school. Then I got involved in sports, so I wanted to coach. So as I got older, it just kind of went through the cycle of, okay, I had a wonderful middle school coach, then I wanted to be a high school coach, and then I guess the rest is history. But that's sort of my journey to being here tonight, was always knowing that I wanted to make a difference in young people's lives and to teach. So the rest of it I didn't actually envision growing up in a small town in West Virginia. I want to thank somebody, a couple people that were really, really instrumental in me being here tonight, and that's my parents. We lost my mother a few years ago, right after the Olympic Games. But she was a tremendous person, and I know tonight she's watching over us. And then my father, he is the reason that I am who I am. He and my grandmother had a family business, so I learned hard work and dedication, and to be extremely honest from him. He's been my biggest inspiration. When I was 16, he was not my favorite person in the world, and I don't think I was his either, but I learned hard work and dedication, and he is my toughest critic. So I can't tell you, when you walk out of a track meet and you're one leg short of a 4x4 and your dad said, I keep telling you, you need more quarter milers on your team. Yeah, not quite what you wanted to hear right at that time. But he's been a tremendous inspiration to me, and I'd like him to stand because he flew in from West Virginia just to be here tonight. So when you get hired, I went to Miami to do a 6-week internship, and that was Thanksgiving of 1988. And today I'm still there. So I was supposed to go home. And probably the second, or one of the times he was not the most supportive father, was when I said, Dad, I'm leaving grad school to go work at the University of Miami. That did not go over well. Small town girl moving to Miami, he wasn't really feeling that one. But I think today he's proud of my decision and proud of how it all worked out. Being a head coach at 25 sounded like the greatest thing in the world, but I wouldn't be here today. I didn't have the advantage of having great mentors, or having great mentors that were head coaches. Because when you start being a head coach early in your career, you don't have the advantage that a lot of young people you have this is working under great coaches. So for me, what was one of the biggest reasons, and I would like to thank, is the coaches education program through the years. People like Gary Winkler, Victor Lopez, Boo Schexnayder, and the whole coaches education program they took me in. I was a young female coach, and they really helped me to be where I am today. And I think that that's so important for all of our young coaches. And when I see, I was actually on the committee that hired Sam Seam. So, and when we did that, that was, we never envisioned, Sam did, but I don't think we ever envisioned the Coaches Association meetings that we have right now. When you walk into the rooms and you see all the young coaches and going to the coaching education, going to the seminars, it really does my heart good, because that's what got me to where I'm at today. Another person who is actually in the room tonight who has been a tremendous mentor to me is Brooks Johnson. In 2003, I really got to know Brooks very well, and he's the first person in my coaching career that my first World Championships, I'm there with Lauren Williams. She's on the relay. Every day after practice, Brooks would say, "What'd you see today? What did you learn today? Tell me about this. Why?" And that was the first person really in my career. I had great people to talk about workouts, but he was the first person in my career that really challenged me. And for those of you that know Brooks, because he's been a mentor to so many people, you better have an answer for Brooks. There's no and to the first time I see him, he doesn't say, "Hi, Amy, how are you?" He's like, "How's your freshman class? How was their fall?" So that type of challenge he's been tremendous to me. He's been an advocate of females and coaching, and he's just somebody that's really meant a lot to me over the years. Some people, the biggest thing for me is coming from a small family, leaving West Virginia. The University of Miami has become my family. So there's so many administrators, so many people, starting with Sam Jankovic, who gave a young girl from West Virginia at 25 an opportunity to be a head coach, to all my administrators today. They've been tremendous. I can't tell you how much they support, and I would just really like to thank the University of Miami. I know we all say it as a school, but it is my family. It is my family, and I think that's why you stay somewhere as long as I have. I've been fortunate to be at the same institution, and I would really like to thank those administrators. I'd want to give a special thanks to my current administration, Blake James, our athletic director, my sports supervisor who is here today, Sherelle Jackson, who actually ran at Bowling Green. So how many of us would love to have a sport administrator who actually ran track in college? So that's phenomenal. And then our support staff. I think we all know that, we don't get to where we are without great trainers, great academic people, and I've been fortunate to have many of them over the years. The next group of people I would like to thank is my assistant coaches. When you coach for 28 years, you've had many coaches come through your door, and I've been fortunate to have a lot of great young coaches. Sometimes I think Pat Henry and Dennis Shaver let me try them out, then they come steal them from me, but other than that, no. I've been very fortunate to have some great coaches, very fortunate to have some coaches young in their career, being able to watch them. Starting with Steve Rubin, who was my first coach, who's been a head coach. He's a head coach now at Amherst. Jim Van Oudegem, who's a head coach at Oklahoma. Those things, that's kind of why you do it. I didn't have mentors or have head coaches, so for me, the opportunity to be able to help young coaches improve and put them in positions to eventually be head coaches is something that makes me very proud. I'd also like to thank my current staff who is here tonight, if they'll stand. Since we've combined our programs, just being able to have this great staff, and I just really appreciate all the hard work that they do and all the support. I think we know that we're only as good as our assistant coaches, so and we're only as good as our staff. So to have them here and the support that they give me is tremendous, and I'm happy to have them here. The biggest thing, I think, is why we all do what we do as our student athletes. I am so blessed to have coached so many student athletes, and they are truly why I'm up here today. I think we're only as good as our student athletes. They challenge us. They challenge me every day to be better. You can't get up and go to work and not be inspired. Our student athletes feed off of us. So for me to get up every day and to try to make a difference in young people's lives, that is really what fuels me and what makes me happy. And but yes, they push me to be the best that I can be every day, and that's why I'm here. And Lauren Williams once told me, she told me like 10 years ago, she goes, "You know what? We're sitting in a track somewhere," and she goes, you're going to be the female version of Brooks Johnson." I was like, "Oh Lord." And I think what she meant is, I'm going to be 70 years old and sitting in the stands from the beginning of the track meet to the end. And it was truly a compliment, but I don't know, 25 more years, that's a long time. So I'd like to thank all my peers in the room for all your support. The relationships that you build in this sport are tremendous. Yes, we're competitive. Yes, we like to beat each other, but also I think that you develop great friendships and coaching, and also that it's, you know, you're a tremendous challenge. We go to work every day because, you know, if you're not doing your job, all of you are, and we're going to get our butts kicked. So I applaud all of you for what you do, and I appreciate everything. Again, I'd like to leave with one thing, and that is what I really truly believe, and it is just don't just aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. Thank you.